most authority on marriage, although I would like to think of mine as being successful. And there's a couple of things I think that make my marriage successful, foremost of which is that the person that I chose to spend the rest of my life with is absolutely, totally, positively the best friend that I have ever had in the world. I love my wife more than I've ever loved anything on the planet, and I really love my motorcycle. So that's saying something. So you really have to be with your best friend. And I remember very vividly the day that Grant called me on the phone, and he said, "Lori, if I offend you by this, I'm sorry." So he said, Grant's nervous, look at him. So he said, "Hey man," I'm like, "Yo, what's up? A little hungover, that's cool. You're calling it Sunday morning, what's up?" And he's like, I'm seeing Lori. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And he's like, "So I'm sorry. No, I know now, right?" He's like, "No, you remember, you met her." I'm like, good for you. But that is not germane to the story. So the whole point of the matter is, when he was talking about her that very first time that he told me that they were just seeing each other, I knew that she was more to him than just some sort of random occurrence of a person that happened by his life. That he knew this person was somebody that was already very quickly becoming his best friend, and already someone that he was ready to spend the rest of his life with. I mean, I knew that years ago. And so when Grant called me and was like, "Hey man, so I'm thinking about proposing," I'm like, "Okay, why'd you wait 4 years?" we could have gotten this out of the way a long time ago. But you know, I wasn't surprised at all. And in fact, the first time that I saw them together, or every time you talk to Grant on the phone, you hear him talk about Lori, there was nothing in there but complete love and support and even, you know, admiration for her. And so I knew from the very first time that he told me that he was seeing this person who I knew that I didn't know that I knew. And learned today I still can't say her last name. I can now because it's March. I knew then that this was something that was going to be lasting. So thank you for lending me your ear, and please let's raise our glasses and or otherwise adulting children beverages. Hear, hear.
I can't believe you got through that entire thing without your wedding story.
So no, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to tell you more about me. Oh, at my wedding, I will tell that. So at my wedding, there was a bit of a problem with the room that we were supposed to stay in when we were married. I don't know if any of you here are married. That's supposed to be a big deal, where you stay your wedding night. Nobody's married. They're like, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, okay. So we got locked out of our hotel, and we were out of town, so we knocked on the hotel room that my parents were staying in, and they were like, "Oh, that's so sad," and closed the door. The only other person that we knew that was staying in the hotel was Grant. Now, mind you, this hotel is less than a mile away from a maximum security prison in upstate New York you may have heard of. They made a movie out of it in the 70s called Attica, right? So I knock on Grant's door, and our lovable Grant opens the door wearing nothing but his underwear. "Hey, everybody." So my new wife and I said, "Well, we don't have a place to stay," and he welcomed us in. It wasn't exciting for everybody, other than we had a place to stay. So I know that I've got a room here, but if for whatever reason my wife kicks me out, I'm going to spend his wedding night with him again. Anyway, here. Good on you. If anybody else wants to come up and speak publicly, feel free.